We still do 7 NUFC Matters shows for free a week. But if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications options. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatters1892@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
Critics attack. It feels like I've been talking to myself again. But it's the only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words, then maybe it's not true. And it feels alright when they come and say to you,
Welcome along to a pre-recorded show. It is NUFC Matters Talk of the Toon, and I'm joined as always by Sid from Songs from the Attic. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. How are you, Sid?
I'm very good, mate. Just got back in from walking Ruby there, so all good.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Yes, as always, plenty to talk about. We'll look ahead to the two games coming up on Wednesday and Sunday, respectively. Later in the second half, Rob will be joining us for a musical interlude as well. So I guess we have
I'm assuming.
I guess, exactly. I guess we have a post-mortem to discuss first, though, Sid. And I was one of those fortunate or unfortunate people to be down at West Ham. A lot of people have talked about the ins and outs of the game, the team selection, the substitutions, and a lot of undue criticism, a lot of really good constructive criticism, and a lot of a minority of people who've just gone too far. But overall, it was disappointing. It was a disappointing game. It was a disappointing result. I think Eddie Howe will be feeling it, as will the rest of the coaching staff. But there's a major problem on the road, Sid, and we can't seem to find a solution to it. So give us your take on that result at West Ham.
Yeah, it was absolutely atrocious. Definitely for me, the worst performance under Eddie Howe. I mean, yes, we've seen games where we've been beaten by Cambridge, Sheffield Wednesday, was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Watford. Oh, I mean, we got beat off all those teams, but there were like mitigating circumstances, how we just taken over. We didn't have the full squad. There's no mitigating circumstances this time round. We went on a high. We'd been unbeaten in so many games. We'd absolutely battered Spurs midweek. We had plenty of time to recover. Plenty of players didn't play, or they only played for a minor amount of time on the Tuesday, I think, or Wednesday, sorry.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So there's no excuses. And they just went in. It was lackluster from the minute they kicked the ball, to be fair. I mean, West Ham, when they went down and hit the bar, and you're thinking, okay, that's interesting. And then, of course, went up the other end and Murphy scored an absolute belter. And I thought, oh, all right, okay. And you could see that some of the West Ham heads went down. They actually went down. I could see it in the captain, who was outstanding against us, by the way. We bought the wrong winger. And he was...
Oh, I've lost you, Sid. I've lost you. Your volume's gone. I don't know what's happened there. But we've lost you, mate.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. At what point did you lose me there?
When you said we bought the wrong winger.
All right. So, yeah, I thought, I mean, as I say, we went up and scored, and then I thought, get in, we've got them here. We didn't carry on. And then all of a sudden, West Ham got into the game, and they just looked infinitely better, more hungry, just sort of played through us. And we offered absolutely nothing. I mean, some of the performances out there were absolutely diabolically bad. I understand. I mean, don't get us wrong. I was crying out for changes at half time, and I was saying, take Gordon off. He's been absolutely atrocious. I mean, he almost cost us a penalty. People, yes, and obviously it was ruled off. It wasn't ruled a penalty because Chow actually got his foot to it, but it was basically Gordon giving the ball away and then not tracking back. And then I didn't understand. He was terrible. Sorry, my computer went all a bit weird there for a second. And then I was asking him to go off. I was asking. Big Joe was pretty poor, to be fair, in the first half, and got no better in the second half. Dan Burn was terrible, but I didn't see any option to change it at that stage because Hall's not really going to start at the minute. And it just looked really, really poor. It looked really poor. And then on Botman, I thought Botman was atrocious. I thought it was absolutely terrible. Yes, he scored an own goal. And people might say, yeah, anyone score an own goal. Absolutely. It goes with the territory being a centre-half. But the guy's got no pace. He got done for pace on one of them. He's slower than he was before. He's really, really slow. And I don't buy this whole Rolls-Royce business. I really don't. The guy's a good player. But personally, and I know I'll get shot down for this, but I think Dan Burn is a better centre-half at the minute. There we go. Said it. Than Botman. That's my personal view. There's a reason why Botman doesn't get picked for the Dutch or for the Netherlands. It's because he's too slow. And yeah, I'm sure he can be top draw again, but at the minute I don't see it, or certainly see it consistently enough. Whereas Chow, on the other hand, is a totally different ball game, and he comes away for me being the only player who can hold his head up. He was the only player. I thought, he was played out of position as House. He can play a number of players out of position, which I didn't understand. But he's the only player who can walk away with his held head high. Maybe it's Murphy, because Murphy's clearly injured and scored a good goal and had another good attempt. But yeah, we're really clutching at straws there. It was terrible. I mean, the midfield was non-existent. Bruno, I'm sick of Bruno being either magnificent or terrible. Seems to be, he's either like a 9 out of 10 or a 2 or 3, and there's nothing where he's like a 7. There's none of these where he's always had a decent game. There's none of them. He's either magnificent or awful at the moment. Big Joe was awful. I hate to say it. He's my favourite player. He's been a shadow of himself this season, and it wouldn't be surprised me, and I've said this before, that this is his last season at Newcastle United as a starter. May be surprised to see him going off at the end of the season, Saudi or wherever it may be. I don't know, but that's just my personal view. Tonali, I'm sorry, playing Tonali at right back is an absolute joke. It's just laughable. You've got one, I genuinely believe he's in the top 3 centre midfield players in the world, and you put him at right back. What's that about? The one guy who we see week in, week out, apart from the other week when he was ill, week in, week out, he's an 8, 9, or a 10 every single week. Every single week. And then you like in terms of performance, and then you put him as right back. I can't get my head around it. And I'm bemused by it all. I can't comprehend it because we were so good during the week against a reasonable Spurs team. And we just battered them. And the only conclusion I've got is that too many players think they can just breeze into the team, and Howe just picks his favourite players week in, week out, irrespective. Because some of the players now have to be serious questions. Anthony Gordon hasn't had a goal contribution in 19 or 20 Premier League games. I'm sorry. That to me is stick him on the transfer window in January. If you've gone literally half a season, because it's 38 games in terms of performances, without a goal contribution as a winger, what are you doing? Your job is to supply the bullets for the goal scorer, and it's all well and good turning up on Champions League days and doing, your salutes and all that sort of stuff. I really don't care. I want to see you doing it in the Premier League, because that's our bread and butter. That's what we're all about at the minute. We have to focus on the Premier League, and at the minute, top 5 is like a distant. It's like a distant sort of thought. We've got absolutely zero chance at the moment. I don't see us being anywhere near the top 5. Yeah. So where are we? 13th. Could go 14th tonight.
So this is the Opta predicted final table, Sid.
Right, that's rubbish.
Do you think Newcastle could finish 7th?
At the minute, no.
Right.
I see Newcastle at the minute finishing 12th, 13th, where they're currently at.
Right.
I don't see it. I mean, I'm sorry, but Crystal Palace are playing superbly. Bournemouth are playing superbly. I don't see their form dropping off anytime soon. Aston Villa have suddenly got a run going. I don't see Liverpool being in the top 4. I really don't.
Wow.
I think Liverpool won't be in the top 5. I don't think they'll qualify for Champions League.
Okay.
But neither will us. We won't get into Europe. The only way we get into Europe this year is if we win the League Cup again, which we have a distinct chance, to be perfectly fair. But
is it not just a bad day at the office, Sid? Because I mean, I was there, I watched it, and I mean, and you know, I get what you come from, and I love people having their own opinions on you, and you're very forthright with your opinion. But I mean, it was awful. You can't sugarcoat that game. It was terrible. Every single thing, every single player. I'll give you Malik Chow. Malik Chow didn't really, he couldn't do it on his own. Tonali, I didn't think Tonali had a particularly very good game. I get it. Eddie probably dropped him into right back because he just felt he couldn't do anything else with the players he had available. He made the substitutions. Nothing he tried worked. I think you've got to give a bit of credit to West Ham. I think Nuno came out at the end of the game and said our thoughts before the game were to get into Joelinton and Bruno, to stifle them and stifle their credibility and he said and creativity. And I think he did that. And I think the fact that you pointed that Bruno either has a great game or a poor game, there's no in between, and the fact that you picked out Joelinton as one of those players that you said was particularly bad, along with Gordon, of course, I think that Nuno got his tactics right as well. And I think sometimes we do have to pay some kind of respect to the opposition because he was desperate for a win. He's no mug of a manager, the guy. And they have got some decent players. Their midfield, especially, Paqueta always seems to play better than Joelinton and Bruno when he faces them. And Bowen plays well. And Van Bissaka is a good player as well. They've got some quality players. They just haven't been able to find that form. But they found it again against us at the weekend.
All credit to them. But what I will say is their fans turn pretty quick to West Ham, and I thought we had a chance to sort of get them on their case. Understandably, by the way, if you're a West Ham fan, because your ownership's atrocious. But and I understood why there was a sit-in afterwards. I totally get it. And when I was down there a couple of years ago, the fans were nothing but as lovely as could be, to be fair. But it just really knocked me. When was the last time, Steve, that we beat a team away from home who were higher than us in the league? I can't remember. I genuinely cannot remember. We don't beat Man City away. We don't beat Liverpool away. We did beat Arsenal away in the League Cup, but we don't beat Chelsea away. I genuinely can't remember. And and last season our away form was really good, but we were beating all the bottom teams. We're not even doing that now. We're not even doing that. We haven't won an away game since April. Anthony Gordon, for me, hasn't had a good game for a year in the Premier League. I can't remember the last time he played really well. And he's getting in on reputation. I'd rather start Barnes. I think Barnes is one of those guys who plays well after 3 or 4 games and gets a little bit of a run. I'm not saying he's a world beater. I've picked the likes of Semenyo and that ahead of him all day long, and I've already sort of banged that drum, as he would have been the guy I would have went and got, and I would still go for him. But players are getting in on reputation alone at the moment. Big Joe's not the same player at the moment. Will he recover? I don't know. I mean,
Do you think he needs an operation? I mean, neither of us are doctors, but watching him and looking at last season, he had that niggle, and it kept him out at the back end of the season. He's played in fits and starts, but he just doesn't look the same player. Is there a possibility that he might need something doing?
I'm sure the club would look at it. I mean, I don't profess to know anything about any medical knowledge apart from the fact I'm getting a new knee next year. I
don't think he looks right. I just don't think he looks right at the moment.
He doesn't look right. His last good game or great game was the cup final, where he was the man of the match for me by a country mile, actually, in the League Cup final. He was unbelievable. That was his best performance. He was unplayable. He was the man of the match. But he hasn't lived up to those standards since. He's had a couple of good games this year, and a lot of fans have really had a go at him. And I thought he's played well on a couple of occasions. Last sort of league game, I thought he played well. But he was atrocious at the weekend. And I absolutely agree. And he's one of those players as well, where there's an argument where, I mean, I would have bought another midfielder, if I'm being perfectly honest, in the summer. I'm not convinced by some of our purchases, and I've mentioned that to you.
Yeah, you texted me today before we did the show, and you said, "Is there any chance I could go through them?" So let's do that now.
Yeah, well, we can't talk about the striker Vissa because he hasn't played. And I'm a big fan of his. I'm putting that openly out there, and I think the season will change dramatically once Vissa starts playing on a regular basis, providing he doesn't go to the African Cup of Nations, which he's entitled to do so. And I know some fans don't like that, but I'm sure the same fans would kick off if an English player was refusing to play for England because of certain circumstances. So I have no issues with wanting to do that. But so far, I mean, if I look at them, hold on, I've got my list here. I mean, I've got Chow was the one I was most worried about when we bought him, and I thought his reputation wasn't great. I tell you what, he's been 10 out of 10 so far. He has been unbelievable. I cannot speak highly enough about him. I'm so impressed with him. I think he's been absolutely incredible. Our best defender. And the fact that I mentioned Jonathan Woodgate last week tells you all you need to know, except with a little bit more pace. Cannot praise him any more than that. I think Voltemade, even though he's not a number 9, has been superb, and I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I think he's been really, really good, very, very impressive. I still think Newcastle are trying to work out how to play to him and cater to his strengths, because I still see him as a 10 or a 9.5 or whatever you want to call it. But he's not an out-and-out number 9. He's a guy who needs to have somebody else ahead of him, or bring the wingers in who should be playing off him. So he's been superb. Elanga, I would give 1 out of 10. I think he's been an absolute disaster. And again, as I say, we're talking Obertan, Franz Carr, Dylan, all those sorts of players. He's just atrocious. He's got no sort of skills in terms of beating a man with a trick. His crossing's not great. He's just fast, and I don't see anything else. And he's got zero confidence. I'm not writing him off 100% yet. He's got 6 months. I'd always give a player 6 months, so he's got the end of January. And if he doesn't perform, then sell him in the summer and try and recoup some of your money back. But nobody can tell me at the minute that the lad Mintier is miles better than him at Brighton. I mean, that's turned out to be a really bad loss. And Ramsey, the door's open, but I didn't see for me, I wouldn't have bought another player who was a slight upgrade on Joe Willock.
Yeah.
And for me, he's 4 out of 10 so far. He's not scored. He's not laid anything on. Looks all right. What does he do? Don't know. I would have went and got a much more commanding midfielder. Somebody who's going to challenge Bruno. Somebody who's going to challenge Tonali. Somebody who you can flick in and out of the team on a regular basis. And you can drop Bruno for a game, give him a rest, drop Tonali for a game, and have this additional player in the middle. And we haven't got one of those. And we haven't got somebody who can unlock defenses unless Voltemade plays that position. So a very mixed bag in terms of the purchasing. And the keeper as well looks pretty decent, to be fair. Ramsdale, even though he's on loan, I'd have to say at the minute 7 out of 10 because he's not played a lot, but he looked pretty good. I'll tell you more times that he get to play. And after the performance at the weekend, there's a real strong shout that he should be starting the next home game.
I mean, I was going to ask you about Nick Pope. I mean, my criticism coming out the ground without the benefit of seeing it replayed was, why on earth did he punch the ball? You know, it was a pivotal moment in the game. You know, subsequently I got home, stuck Match of the Day on and watched, fast forwarded through the game. I couldn't have sat through that again, but I got to the big moment, and then I obviously always listening to the interviews, and Rob Green was doing the analysis on Match of the Day too. Obviously former goalkeeper, and Shay Given was doing it on the television coverage.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to hear both of them criticise the punch, but also, you know, basically talking about his positioning of his feet. Rob Green was quite went in on the positioning of his feet and the way that he dived. The position of his feet affects the way that he dived for that goal. So the one that led from the punch, he was going down too early with you know, going across, and his hands weren't going in the correct position where the ball is. It was quite technical listening to Rob, but he knows what he's talking about. He says it's a common problem with goalkeepers, not setting your feet properly and not going across at the correct height, because he says you give yourself more of a chance to save it. But is it, you know, you look back over those 3 games that we've won, and there's been some pivotal moments. You heard Matt Ritchie in the pre-match talk where he was saying, you know, this guy, you know, is a pivotal part of Newcastle's team. You know, there was plenty of games we won 1-0 and 2-0, and he'd saved a lot of chances prior to, you know, scoring those goals that were important. So he's clearly well respected in the dressing room. He's clearly a good goalkeeper. We know the problems that he's got with his distribution and with his feet. But are you now saying that Ramsdale should start?
Yeah. I mean, you've let 2 goals in that you should really save. You should, you know, there are 2 opportunities you should have saved, in my opinion. So yes, is the simple answer. I want to see something different. Will it keep who? Let's be honest. Would Ramsdale have saved both of them? I assume so, but I can't guarantee. Obviously, but it couldn't have been any worse. So yeah, why not? Something different. Somebody with a bit more technicality about his feet. I mean, yeah, I totally get with regards to what Shay Given was saying as well. Shay Given was a great shot stopper. Never came up his line, but it was a great shot stopper. It's true, though. And whereas Pope commands his box miles better than Shay Given ever did, and I know people might not like it, but he's miles better than Given in terms of coming for crosses and stuff. But he should have saved it, you know, and he should have caught it rather than punching it. I don't understand that. I don't know why keepers do that. It's just weird. Pat Jennings used to catch it with one hand in his day, you know.
With no gloves on.
No gloves. It makes no sense. I mean, yeah. So for me, yeah, there are 3 or 4 who are in on reputation. Pope's not one of them. Pope's had a really good season so far, so he's not one of them. He's deserved his position all day long. So I'm not digging him out. And if we start with Pope next game, you'll get all my support. So no issues with regards to that. But for Anthony Gordon, I don't want to see him starting again. Not until he's earned the right to come to start in terms of the Premier League. I don't care if he scored a hat-trick on Wednesday. You know, it's about the Premier League. I want him to do it in the Premier League. Obviously, I'd like to see him score a hat-trick in the Champions League, but the Premier League is what it's all about. And I know some of the players might think otherwise, because for them it's all about the Champions League, and I get that. I do get that, and hence the fact it's a draw and it's an attraction for us and for other clubs to get those players. But your bread and butter is the league, and we're not producing. We don't look anywhere near it. And the other criticism that I have with regards to the other day was Plan B. I thought we'd had a Plan B where we have like a Sula coming on for 15 minutes at the end who just creates mayhem against a tired defence, and he can do something. And I didn't understand. If you bring a Sula on, then play Volta behind him. I didn't understand not just going for it. You know, it made no sense to me. Sula's not going to just create everything on his own, you know, and some of the fans digging him out saying, "Oh, looks rubbish." Well, he's got to have some sort of supply line, and there was
we might get some answers. We might have had some answers. I mean, this is a pre-record which goes out Wednesday. We'll get some answers from Eddie at these press conferences. Baltimore, we don't know whether he was injured. You would imagine Gordon got hooked because he was poor.
Well, apparently Gordon's carrying some sort of injury as well, but he's not been carrying an injury for nigh on 8-9 months or whatever it is, you know. So he's just been rubbish. He has to hold his hand up because he's not been good enough. It's all well and good doing it for England, all well and good in doing it in Champions League, and we've given him big pats on the back. But for us, Premier League is where it's at, and it's what matters. It's what matters most. from my perspective. I'm not speaking for all fans because I clearly can't do
No.
that.
No.
But from my perspective, it's the Premier League that matters. And unless we get to sort of win the League Cup again, but that's what it's all about, because we ain't going to win the Champions League this year, are we? So it's all about that, and I want to see him sort of perform, because on his day he can be just about certainly in the top 2 left wingers in the country. There's no doubt about it. The kid's got it. So I'd like to see him give it more, and he doesn't. He just doesn't do it regularly enough. Hence the fact, my earlier comment of, if he's not doing it by Christmas, stick him on the transfer list, because it's not good enough. It's about consistency. And I'd rather have somebody who plays 7 out of 10 every week and is not a world beater than somebody who can play 9 or 10 once in every 8 or 9 games. Because that's what we're getting at the minute. And we're not even getting that, if I'm being perfectly honest. So, but anyhow, what's your plan B? I want to see a plan B. I thought we had it. And the other day was as shambolic as it was a year and a bit ago, when he was under real trouble, when he put all these players and played them. It was like Steve Bruce, just playing players out of position. If that had been Steve Bruce on Sunday, everybody would have absolutely lambasted him for it, and it was abysmal. And if he carries on like that, he'd be in trouble as a manager, and I'd hate to say that, because I really, really rate him. So,
Okay, good stuff. Coming up to the ad break, and then we'll be taking a musical interlude with Rob.
A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them at www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickys.co.uk. Email info@mrvickys.co.uk, or telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet. 2 crew driver and courier, local family company, 3-star plus quality hotels and no interchanges. Hot and cold snacks and drinks available on the coach, all excursions included. Their website, unitedgrouptravel.com. Email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com. Telephone 01670 632 460 or 0791 666 4174. Just £30 per person deposit. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the technical side of things. And if you like listening to us as a podcast, you can go to Sports Social Podcast Network or to iTunes, Spotify, or other podcast providers. If you want to support the show, then hit the subscribe button. It's free. We do 7 shows a week. Hit the little thumb up under the video, which is the like button, or click share to share to your social media. You can also join the channel on YouTube by hitting the join button for as little as $1.99 a month. If you want to become an NUFC Matters member, you can go to nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. It's a £25 one-off fee. You get your pen, you get your badge, a key ring, you get your beer mat and your fridge magnet and your membership card, nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk for that. And we have an event early next year, 13th of February 2026, an evening with Beardsley, Waddle and Gascoigne takes place at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House. To buy your tickets for that event, go to the box office 0191 243 1171 or Tyne Theatre and Opera House.uk.
And it's a big welcome back to Rob. How are you, Rob?
Very good, gents. How are you both?
Good to see you, Rob.
Yeah.
Didn't recognise you.
I know.
The album that Rob won't be reviewing, he says, with Christmas around the corner, I am not reviewing this. Stop Smoking and Overeating by Ravine. Very good. Excellent stuff there.
Yeah.
But you're not reviewing that, Rob. What are you reviewing?
It's a continuation of last week. I find this on BBC record sound effects. I'm only
Yes.
kidding. I'm only kidding. I'm not. Before I do my review,
Yes, well done, Gateshead. Well done,
done, Nate. Absolutely brilliant, fantastic. So this is from a friend, Ian. It's called Somebody's Child. I listened to a couple of songs when I was at his house. The album's called When Youth Fades Away. Guy from Dublin. Ian went to see him in Glasgow, St Luke's Church. I picked up bits and bobs from it, and I thought that's quite good. I think I'll review that. So it opens with a song called The Kid. Good intro. It's very Joy Division. She's lost control. Sort of Joy Division vibe for me. Really good bass on this one. Really good bass drums. I think it's a drum machine on opening song. Not too sure. Quite haunting vocals. The vocals and lyrics are very heartfelt, deep, and meaningful. Bit echoing the Bunnymen as well, and I think that's why I pricked up my ears when I heard that. In bits and bobs, and looked quite a young guy. Number 2, Last Night I Held Your Hand. Again, I think this is acoustic drums on this one. Might be wrong. Good mid-tempo though. Really, really good single note guitar, and again, sort of really pounding, gallopy bass. I think the bass and drums, they don't overdo too much on it, but it just carry the songs perfectly for Somebody's Child. Good chorus, really, really good deep backing vocals on this. It's quite a muddy sound. It's like he's got his own sound. It's quite muddy. Very good melody on this one, quite catchy. You got Porcelain, really, really good promo video on this one, actually. I've watched the video. So, Ian, if you've not watched the video or anybody else, go on it. It's, I don't know where it is, a big, big train station somewhere. And he's got these old headphones you had in the 80s, remember, like the orange foam. And it used to hurt your head after a while. The wire would dig into you. He's just in the train station dancing himself to the song, but everyone around him was unaware of this promo video being taken. So he was really embarrassed by it. But it's a really, really good video to it. Good beat on it. Good tempo again. It's sort of like mid-tempo, sort of like an indie. She bangs the drums. Stone Temple Pilots, Stone Roses, sort of, pace tempo. Then you've got When Youth Fades Away, really pacey this one, really good piano parts in the background of this one. Very, very radio-friendly song, I'd say. Really good drop beat up drumming, a bit Stuart Copeland of The Police. Very sharp, very nifty. They've got New Orleans, more of a Celtic feel. I don't like it. It lasts for 1 minute, 34 seconds. It's just not for me. You've got Wall Street. This is, again, you've got influences around you, like a lot of Irish bands, that it's, their surroundings. I can hear, still haven't found what I'm looking for. I wonder if they ever did. And how many mountains Bono's still got to climb. But it's definitely an influence of that song. Really, really good when the drums and bass kick in again. Again, it's, to me, this is like Paolo Nutini meets The Police. If you like that sort of thing, you'll like this. My album. There you got My Mind Is on Fire. Very nice, very deep, sort of atmospheric trance sort of song. Sultry, moody, picks up after the middle 8 section for me. The best vocal delivery on the song for me so far for this one. Again, another, I can't label them. Do you know that? I can't say, but I can hear influences. So that's track 7, My Mind Is on Fire. Really good vocals on it. Then you've got track 8, Irish Goodbye. Very, very similar to above. It's okay. It's now, to me, sounding a bit tired. At this point, listening to the album 3 times now, I think he needs to be a bit more experimental, more direction. But to start out. Then you've got the Water side. Again, it's that lull. Side B, midway through, end of album song, quite daunting, quite tired feeling. Maybe could have been a B-side or a throwaway song or a demo. But the music does reflect the lyrics. Again, like I said, it is deep. It's quite heartfelt. It's sort of like a downstrum sort of song. You got track 10, Life Will Go On. To me, this is back more on form. Full sound, big production, nifty drumming, great backing arrangements again. Nice brushwork on the snare. And it's sort of like a gospel feel on the backing vocals on this one. It's quite a good song. The last song is called Time of My Life. Really, really good video again. It's a good song to end the album on after, I'd say, the last 3 songs prior to that, because it did get tiring. It did for me. I lost interest. This one would be brilliant to see like a stadium. I think they've toured with Kasabian and So a few bands like that, he's supported a lot of big bands. So this would be one of those good anthem songs at say arena or a stadium. Should you ever headline? Should he continue and progress? But it was okay. It was okay. There's about 4 or 5 songs I really took to it, but I could hear influences I liked, which is brilliant. The cover, I like the cover to it. I don't know where it is. I wouldn't mind looking into that a wee bit more. I just like it. Yeah. It just looks interesting to me. So I'd give that about 7.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it though. But thanks, Ian, for letting me listen to it. And before I go, Marcus a few weeks ago asked me to review an album, and I thought I didn't have it. And I phoned my local record shop and asked to get a copy, and it said it'd take too long to order. But I found it. It said, "Look, promo copy."
This is the holy,
Yeah, so I'll be doing that Marcus fee next week. It has been on my list for quite a while, and obviously
get that album sleeve, by the way. It's really creepy.
Yeah, but Sid were mentioning Bonham last week as well. So just as an album, but I do like the album Houses of Holy. Yeah.
Good album though.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Thank you, Rob. What about you, Sid? What are you bringing us this week?
Yes, I've gone with the King of Funk, the main man, Soul Brother #1. I've gone with James Brown, Funk Power 1970, which is a compilation album which came out in the 90s. And I mean, at one point I had about 25 James Brown albums. There's one of them was really good, but after that, I don't think he's got any what I would describe as an out-and-out classic all the way through album. But although one of them was good. Live albums are good, by the way, though. But this is the one for me. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a fantastic compilation. It really is. It's funk-a-doodle-doo. It's rare that you get an artist who defines a genre. James Brown literally invented funk. Like Bob Marley, you say reggae, the first name you come to was Bob Marley. You could maybe argue it with Miles Davis with jazz a little bit, but not as much. But certainly James Brown, he's the king of funk. He likes to claim he invented rap, but I don't think he did. But he was certainly in there. He was certainly in the early days, as it were. But Gil Scott-Heron is a lot more more credit to have invented rap, if you like. But it's a terrific album. It features a lot of the main guys, if you like, on instruments. So it's got Bootsy Collins on bass on most of the tracks. He's just an incredible bass player. He's got his brother Catfish on rhythm guitar. You've got Bobby Bird on vocals in sort of rhythm. You've got Jabbo Starks on drums, who's just fantastic. I'm not sure the pronunciation of it. But it's the proper JBs later on. You've got Fred Wesley on trombone, Maceo Parker. I mean, just some of the Clive Stubblefield on drums, some of the greatest musicians around, really. Yeah. So the first track starts off with Sex Machine Acts 1 and 2. We all know the song that was banned on the radio for quite a long time. If you think about it, 1970, Sex Machine's quite a sort of risque title, but it's just so funky and so cool. And obviously, you get the lines "get on up." There's no sort of ambiguity about it. It's straight there, isn't it? But it's just brilliant. It's impossible not to dance to it. The drums are brilliant. The musician's brilliant. Musicianship's brilliant. It's just so cool. We've then got Super Bad. Is the next track, parts 1 to 3. It's 9 minutes long and it just grooves. James Brown's scream is just incredible. His scream can articulate what some people's full songs can do just in one scream. It is remarkable. Since You've Been Gone is on there, not the Rainbow Song, of course. It's a claustrophobic jam. It's been sampled on numerous occasions. It's got a he 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 chant in it, which is really sort of been used on numerous occasions for rappers. James Brown is the most sampled artist of all time as well, of course. I mean, drummer is being sampled to death, literally. Give It Up or Turn It Loose, well, not literally, was from late 69 and features the JBs, Fred Wesley, Maceo Parker. I mean, notoriously as well, by the way, James Brown was a notorious sort of band leader. I mean, all of the JBs left the band in about 1975. They all quit because they were sick of being fined off them, and he was really hard on them. So they all quit and formed Parliament, or joined Parliament in Funkadelic with George Clinton, the other funk master. But he had a bit of a reputation, James Brown. Give It Up, Turn It Loose, really cool, really funky, grooves, screams, incredible on it. There Was a Time. Now, I've got much better versions of There Was a Time than on this one. It was recorded in 67 originally. This is the 70, much more laid back version. The 67, 68 versions are much better, but this is still pretty decent. It's just much more of a laid back groove. Talking Loud and Saying Nothing is a social conscience song, very much like Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. It's a brilliant song. It's really, really cool, against people telling them how to live his life and how to tell people to tell certain communities to live their life. Get Up, Get Into It, Get Involved. Another one. Brilliant sort of fast groove, superb brass section. Clive Stubblesfield is one of the greatest drummers of all time. And this song's been sampled twice by Public Enemy. That's how good it was. Brother's Gonna Work It Out and Can't Trust It. Just brilliant. Soul Power, just magic. 7 minutes of sheer joy. And then at the end, it finishes weirdly with another 10-minute version of Sex Machine, which I don't quite understand. But it is brilliant. I have to say, if I had to pick 3 artists that I wished I'd seen, certainly in their prime, and I never got to see them, James Brown would be one of them, probably along with Thin Lizzy and The Clash. They would be the other 2 that I wished I'd seen. Linking to this, I've gone with a film choice that sort of connects to this, and that's When We Were Kings, released in 1996, based on the Muhammad Ali, George Foreman Rumble in the Jungle, 1970, which, as a little boy, I stayed up to try and listen to on my radio at the time, and I fell asleep, and I woke up in the morning and asked my mum who won the fight. Something I still remember from 1974. I think it was late October 74, if I remember rightly. This is just, it won an Oscar. What's lovely about this is it won the Oscar for 96, 97, and George Foreman helped Muhammad Ali up on the stage, which I just thought was so moving and touching. It's just brilliant. It is brilliant. Norman Mailer's on it, who's without a doubt he's documented the fight. He's like a poet with regards to boxing. He was an incredible boxing journalist. It features Spike Lee, Thomas Hauser, the Muhammad Ali biographer. The footage is amazing. I mean, people forget George Foreman was the baddest man on the planet. I think he'd gone 40-0. He knocked the hell out of Ken Norton and all these great fighters. I mean, I think he knocked Norton out in 1 round. George Frazier, he knocked out in 2 or 3. He lifted him up off the ground by hitting him in the stomach. Probably still the most remarkable punch I've ever seen. He was probably the hardest puncher of all time, along with Sonny Liston and Ernie Shavers. He was absolutely fearsome. Certainly in those days, he'd have beaten anybody over the last 30, 40 years, in my opinion. And it makes my list of top 5 heavyweights, along with Ali, Joe Lewis, Tony Johnson. Just brilliant. But the documentary's superb. It features BB King. It's who's really cool on it. The full video has been released to BB King. James Brown footage is magnificent on it. And they say it's interspersed with Ali and Foreman training, and Ali getting all the crowd to sing Ali Boumaye. In other words, Ali kill him. It's just mad. He clearly didn't mean it, and they became very close friends afterwards. And I just wish they'd released the full James Brown footage from this show. It's the last point where James Brown is still magnificent, and the band are incredible. He's got the GMEs before they all quit. He's doing the splits in his mid-40s. He's doing all the robotics, all these sort of dance moves that are just amazing. If you go online, there's a great documentary, and from about 79, 80, and he's doing all these dances like the robot and all that. And he's got footage from it. So the footage is out there. I just wish that the estate would release it, because brilliant documentary. Foreman, what a great guy he turned out to be, of course. From the baddest man on the planet to a really, really nice man as he came back for his second fight. And famously, of course, with Foreman, Mike Tyson's trainer, Customato, said never fight George Foreman. He'd knock you out in 2 rounds. And I think that's definitely the case as well. But brilliant documentary. Great stuff. James Brown in it. What more do you want, man? James Brown, BB King, Muhammad Ali. Away. It's brilliant.
Have you ever watched documentary Ian Jury? I think it's what's his name? Somebody Circus that plays it. Very similar.
Oh yes, I've watched the
Andy Circus, is it? I think
yeah, Andy Circus, yeah.
Personality-wise, I think he was a bit in jury, a bit like in a band like maybe James Brown was. And as soon as I seen James Brown there, if anybody's ever watched Eddie Murphy's Delirious and watched Eddie Murphy's impersonation of James Brown, it is so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. T impersonation.
Yeah. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, we'll get banned.
Great stuff, lads. As always, Rob, thanks very much for your time, mate. Look forward to seeing you next week.
And you take care, guys.
Take care, man. Look after yourself.
Bye-bye, Sid. Bye-bye.
Don't forget, if you have got an album suggestion for Rob, drop it in the comments below and we will pick it up and Rob will review in due course. And our Christmas event is on the horizon, 21st of November. Tickets are £12 from nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. It's an evening with Warren Barton and Joe Allen and a lot more. Sid's going to be spinning a few tunes. Adam Henderson's coming to do a little acoustic set and you get a chance to meet quite a few people from the show and in the chat. So come along. All proceeds going to Age UK North Tyneside Dementia. Okay, time to look ahead to a couple of games coming up before Sid moves on to his normal day job. Bilbao at home is first up. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff this coming Wednesday. Lewis Hall, of course, back in the squad. Johan Wissa and Tino Livramento remain out. Still a doubt over Kieran Trippier. We are pre-recording this on Monday, so you may well have got more information on that from Eddie's press conference on Tuesday. How did the results go at the weekend? Well, we know how Newcastle's went. Bilbao lost 2-3 to Basque rivals Real Sociedad in La Liga on Saturday before heading to Tyneside. And as of us recording this programme on Monday, a referee hadn't been announced. So their competition so far hasn't gone well either. They've lost 2-0 at home to Arsenal, 4-1 at Borussia Dortmund. But they did manage to get 3 points against FK Karabag. Yeah, I don't know who they are either. But but they have managed to get 3 points in the bag. So this is a huge opportunity for Newcastle to bounce back, certainly in a different competition, we know. But Newcastle need a reaction, don't they, to West Ham?
They do, but I'll be honest, I'm more concerned about Sunday. I think they'll win. I think they'll win comfortably again. I said the last thing, because I think the difference in the leagues is vast. Apart from the top-end teams in the leagues, so, you know, your Real Madrid or Barcelona or teams like that, you know, Napoli maybe and Bayern Munich and maybe a couple of the German teams. I think there's a vast difference between them and the rest of the teams. And these are one of the teams, I think they're mid-table in the Spanish in La Liga. So I expect us to turn them over comfortably. I'm going 3-0 and I'm happy with that. I think I got a feeling he'll start the same team that he started on Sunday.
Well, obviously, as I say, at the moment on Monday, that is possible. But I know we're pre-recording this and it doesn't go out on Wednesday. I've got a feeling that there could be something the matter with at least one of those players who went off. But we wait and see. Right. You know, I do. I just, you know, maybe we will, maybe we won't. But I can understand. I can understand your thinking based on the information we've got. Okay, you've said Brentford away is the bigger game of the two. 2 o'clock kickoff live on Sky Sports. Of course, this, when you looked at them on paper, West Ham looked the easiest of the two. Brentford, Absolutely. Brentford's a difficult game.
Tough game. I'm sorry, but I have no optimism at the minute until Vissa's back and that we start to find a winning formula. I think we'll get beat, and I'm going to go for 3-1 again. I have no optimism at the minute with regards to us going away from home. I think at home, I think they're just about unbeatable, but away, I mean, then we've got some tough fixtures coming up with Man City and all the rest of it. So, yeah, sorry, folks. I'm so annoyed. From yesterday. It's hard to sort of come back and say, oh, yeah, we'll win 2-0 or we'll do this, that, and the other, because I don't see it. When was the last time we won away from home? It was April. When was the last time we beat a team considerably above us? God knows when. So I have zero confidence, and I'm sticking with 3-1.
Well, let's hope by the time we'll meet next week, Sid, Newcastle have restored a little bit of that faith and a bit of confidence. We've got 2 wins in the bag. But for now, Sid, thanks very much, mate. Don't forget to subscribe to Songs from the Attic. Sid does some great stuff over there.
And if you share one. Hey folks, and want to cheer up off the Newcastle game. My band, Rocket 88 Rhythm and Blues Band's playing the Library at 4:00 in Whitley Bay.
Great stuff, mate. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Take care, folks. Bye bye.